Okay, we can get started. Thank you. We spend our lives learning how to balance. For me as a kid, that meant mastering trick riding while also serving as my dad's #1 ranch hand. Growing up ranching provided a unique set of skills and experiences. I became accustomed to long days, making hard choices, making hard decisions, and the many ways in which I could get my hands dirty. While an argument for child labor could be made, yes, that's 11-year-old me with my arm in a cow, it was these experiences that led to my calling, livestock veterinarian, a profession where you get more than just your hands dirty. And with more than 6 years into the job, I've learned a few things. I can perform cesareans, ruminectomies, omentopexies, or as I like to remind my boyfriend, gonadectomies. On some level, you almost feel sorry for the men paired with female livestock vets because aside from our smell, they have to live with the knowledge that their partners know how to use tools with names like emasculators and electro-ejaculator. But putting boyfriends living in fear aside, this job is uniquely fun and exciting, to the point where the phrase grab the bull by the horns can be very literal. One moment it's equine surgery, then vaccinating feral llamas, and by midnight I'm found rolling on the barn floor with an old rancher trying to deliver the Black Angus version of Andre the Giant. I hate to admit this, but size can be a factor for this job. When facing the often 10-to-1 size matchup, I've developed a few tactics as a fun-size large animal vet. 1, leverages everything. 2, skinny arms are surprisingly useful if you know where to stick them. And 3, you can never, ever have enough lube. Such tactics have led to some of the crowning achievements in my career, like blacking out my calving season bingo card. Enjoy. However, there are some challenges in this career that no amount of lubrication can overcome. Working as a healthcare professional requires running a daily gauntlet of physical, emotional, and mental hurdles. Hurdles in which the pendulum can swing easily from one extreme to the other, from success to failure, joy to devastation, giving life and taking life. I feel a deep sense of honor and gratitude for my ability to ease pain, guide people through hard choices, and form lasting bonds through trust and compassion. And I don't take for granted the privilege of working in a place as beautiful as Southwest Montana, where ranches and old homesteads have served as my daily commute and office. But as with many things in life, it's not always easy. It's not easy telling the little girl who had finally gotten her dream pony that we needed to put it down. It's not easy being placed in ethical dilemmas, working in extreme weather conditions, or always guaranteeing the safety of your staff and of yourself. It's not easy being compared to your male counterparts, or letting the comments about your size, age, or ability always roll off your back. Nor is it easy going home after a long day, only to be called out again, alone, in the middle of the night, for weeks in a row. These kind of events are readily normalized as a part of a vet's daily routine. The raw nature of this job and the relationships formed within it can be deeply powerful and fulfilling. But what do we do when the devotion and self-sacrifice to the work outweigh all else? For me, the scales tipped in late 2022. A nationwide shortage of large animal vets left our clinics short-staffed, and the weight of that shortage landed on the few of us who remained. I was one of only 2 vets holding down a clinic with regular hours Monday through Saturday while providing 24/7 emergency services. In the face of an immense workload and an exceptional winter that year, the need to buckle down and cowgirl up was greater than ever and for the foreseeable future. We often glorify the stereotype of the inexhaustible clinician or employee, or for working long hours as it shows dedication. For many reasons, I have always felt that I had something to prove and was driven to demonstrate my resilience and grit, not only for myself, but for the people and animals relying on me. And this is difficult to talk about because even though I loved my job, I left it. I can no longer recognize myself. Some of my defining traits, joviality, optimism, even my bad jokes had all drained away. I lost my motivation, made mistakes, and was constantly fighting off negative thoughts, and my closest relationships suffered. Where had the trick rider's balance gone? The burdens of the day and nights spent on call left me easily triggered by my phone, bracing for the next emergency. I found myself turning down social invites, and taking time off did not slow the rising tide of utter depletion or sense of destabilization. I was burning out. I was having to admit that I had limits and that perhaps they weren't the same as my boss or his predecessor. I had to confront that with so many hours committed to the job, combined with a well over 2 times debt-to-income ratio, were not penciling out to provide the life that I wanted to lead. And studies across many professions, including veterinary medicine, show that burnout is a serious issue with far-reaching impacts. An issue tragically illustrated by its link to suicide. Veterinarians are among the highest risk professions for death by suicide. I have personally known 2 colleagues who have taken their own lives. I don't share this to be dramatic or invite pity, but to bring perspective. Burnout isn't limited to the workplace. It's the product of chronic stress and can surface in any part of our lives. Hard work, challenge, or long days give life meaning. But so does balance and making space for loved ones, hobbies, exploration, and being yourself. And so what am I doing now? Still chasing adrenaline from large hoof beasts, apparently. My recent work has found me as a wildlife disease researcher and bison veterinarian. And while at times I think I will be eaten for lunch, I can verify they are quite fluffy. Just don't tell the Yellowstone tourists I said that. I hope part of my story resonates with some of you tonight. Life is rarely all rainbows or criminally cute calves, and sometimes circumstances prevent us from being able to make change. But I know for myself at least, I try to remember the courage in the little girl that I was, daring myself to balance despite the risk of falling. Thank you.